I slowly made my way on a road. The PD River is flowing over, and it is moving so fast. You can see it against my boots here.
And this is what we've seen all throughout the town of Crusoe today. Cars wrapped up in trees.
From Blowing Rock, North Carolina, James Scott, WCCB News. Woo!
Cheyenne is just 24 years old. She's confused, she's hurt, she's afraid. We're not showing her face for her own protection, but she felt it's important to walk us through what happened the night she was brutally beaten and kidnapped in a violent attack captured on video at a stranger's home where she desperately went looking for help in the middle of the night. Cheyenne says it started after she got into an argument with a man that she loves.
So we was on Independence and he pulled over and we started fighting. And then we had drove to Monroe Road and we started fighting again.
Cheyenne says they stopped at a friend's house and then they both left separately. She walked away, he drove away. And according to Cheyenne, she was trying to make it to a friend's house when she found herself walking here along Driftwood Drive just off Albemarle Road around 3 a.m. She noticed someone was following her.
That's when he had seen me and he put the car in park. I took off.
Cheyenne ran to the first house she found and tried to bang on the door to get help. But she says the suspect was right on her heels.
He just drugged me down the steps and I was crying for help.
Cheyenne has watched this video dozens of times.
I really don't know. Hurt. Because I can't believe he would do that, and I can't believe that my daughter seen that.
Cheyenne says after the suspect dragged her away and got her into his car, he calmed down.
I was like, I'm inside your car. I was like, just relax.
And what happened after that?
Then he was like, see, that's all you had to do was just get in the car. He's like, yeah, all you had to do is just listen to me. And he said the more the sheep run, the more the wolf bites, and not in the fairy tale.
Domestic violence is about power and control. And when the abuser feels like they're losing that control is when they typically carry out on the threats that they've made.
Tabitha Lane with Safe Alliance says 20 people per minute are victims of domestic violence. That's about 10 million people a year. We gave Cheyenne important phone numbers to use to get help. The suspect in this case is 32-year-old Lewis Meadows. He remains behind bars charged with first-degree kidnapping and assault. Cheyenne was with him when police arrested him.
I was just like, oh my God, I was just like, thank God, in my head. The lady didn't have a doorbell. Where would I be right now?
Cheyenne has a fractured nose as a result of the beating, and she says it's not the first time the suspect hit her.
I honestly thought I was gonna die whenever he had his friend drive me and him around and beat me with a tire iron.
Cheyenne, are you afraid that if he gets out, he'll do this to you again?
Honestly, I really want to say yes. With the slightest doubt in my mind, just leave me alone. Just stay away from me.
Do you want him to stay locked up?
No.
You want him to be able to get free?
I mean, I'm not gonna like say yes, but I'm not gonna say no because I mean, I don't want to see him locked up.
So you don't have any fear that he'll beat you again?
No.
No. Are you gonna be with him again if he gets out?
Honey, I got restraining orders. I got protective orders. I'm not weak. I'm not just supposed to be here right now. I'm supposed to actually be dead. But
you're still here?
Yeah.
In Charlotte, Trish Williford, WCCB News.
There was not one red flag. Not one. He seemed to be happy all the time. He was actually just joking around and laughing.
His mother calls him an old soul. Even at a young age, she says her beloved Mario, Nathan, as everyone called him, worried about everything.
He did struggle his entire life with anxiety. It started in the 3rd grade. Do you remember Sandy Hook shooting? So I made sure to talk to him about that. But the very first day he went back after Sandy Hook, he said, "Mommy, can you please walk me in? I'm scared."
Ashley Lopez says from that day on, Nathan was homeschooled through his freshman year of high school.
Straight A student from his entire life. And he had a $68,000 scholarship to go to Catawba College. She was already accepted.
Lopez says her son planned to major in chemistry. He had big dreams, countless friends, but she says Nathan still suffered.
He's been hospitalized for mental illness. He went to therapy every single week since 2019. Every week. And even all through the pandemic, we had virtual meetings.
This year, Nathan was back in school and was a thriving junior. And last Wednesday, his mother says started off as just a normal day.
At 6:48 a.m., the day of, he had texted me, "I love you," with an exclamation point.
Which was the norm, she says. But around 7:20 a.m., one of his friends stopped by her house and said Nathan sent several goodbye messages to his friends.
I call the school and I tell them, my son, from my knowledge, might possibly be committing suicide and nobody can find him.
Well, she hung up the phone and within minutes, the school called her back.
I hung up the phone and I just collapsed in the driveway because I knew it was gone.
Lopez rushed to Mooresville High. When she walked into the school, she found herself surrounded by Nathan's classmates.
Hearing those kids cry and scream and be heartbroken, it's a horrible sound, but it warms my heart because my son was loved.
And days later, hundreds gathered for a celebration of Nathan's young life.
I just don't want his death to be in vain at all. And so my whole point was if I could just save one life, then I know I met my goal. And I can tell you right now, I already know I saved one.
Lopez says she'll always remember her final goodbye to her beloved son.
I told him I love you. Good night, sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. So I hope he says that too. Our lives are gonna be forever changed. It's never gonna be the same, but we're here for each other, you know? And we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it.
In Mooresville, Trish Williford, WCCB News.
Ski resorts rejoice. After a downright pitiful start to the snow season in December, Mother Nature has gifted the Big Three high country resorts with nearly a foot of snow to ring in the new year. Ski officials couldn't be happier.
You know, snow turns everyone into a kid again, right? You're excited to see it, to play in it, so we've had a good amount of people coming out and enjoying the great January conditions here at the mountain.
With several feet of natural and man-made snow now on the slopes, Appalachian Ski Mountain is preparing for the biggest weekend of their season, attracting thousands of visitors from all over the country. Some of these visitors are brand new to the slopes. What are you expecting now on these mountains?
To wipe out, for sure.
One of the more experienced guests is Jonathan Howard. He makes the 6-hour drive with his students from Georgia Highlands College every year for the best experience around.
The snow today has made it great. It's nice and soft and powdery, and they're actually getting to see what snow skiing is actually like.
They've been blowing a whole lot. It's a lot smoother to go down now. It's pretty fun.
Whether you ski or board, everyone can agree it's a great start to 2022. From Blowing Rock, North Carolina, James Scott, WCCB News. Woo!
I'm a fighter. I'm not gonna let nobody grab me.
Najee Tolliver isn't your normal 28-year-old mother of two. Monday night, as she walked to work here along Automall Parkway in Rock Hill, out of nowhere, she came face to face with an attacker, and it quickly became a battle to save her own life.
I was walking this direction, just passing the fire hydrant here, when I noticed a shadow running up behind me. By the time when I turned around, I noticed he was running with his hands out to try to grab me.
Tolliver says she had just seconds to react.
So first instinct was to fight. I flipped him over the right side. We were wrestling right here in the street where I managed to punch him several times.
Tolliver says as they were fighting in the street, her attacker began to pull her near these woods.
Because it was nighttime, this area didn't have much light. We started wrestling around in the grass for a while. I managed to, at one point, put him in a headlock and began punching him in the face. and he managed to, around that time, he tried to grab my pants and pull my pants down.
Tolliver says when that happened, her instincts took over once again. She remembered during that attack, she dropped her backpack on the ground.
I managed to locate my bag, and I was able to pull out my gun and load it and fire several shots towards him.
Tolliver emptied the clip, and she says the suspect took off running near some nearby businesses. Rock Hill police say one of those businesses had a surveillance camera that captured this image of who authorities believe is Tolliver's attacker, 18-year-old Antavis Dickerson. Well, police arrested him on Tuesday and charged him with attacking and sexually assaulting 5 other women in the Rock Hill area. Well, after the suspect took off running, so did Tolliver. She made it to a nearby gas station where these 2 guardian angels, as she calls them, called police and made sure she was safe.
I love you guys.
Tolliver fractured some ribs during the brawl.
I'm taking it day by day, but I do hope that other women that been in this situation or just for the future just learn how to protect themselves.
In Rock Hill, Trish Williford, WCCB News.
We are in one of the most beautiful places on the planet in Western North Carolina. Some of the best people, one of the greatest places to visit. But every once in a while, Mother Nature strikes.
Governor Roy Cooper touring the devastation across Western North Carolina after historic floods from Tropical Storm Fred left behind massive amounts of destruction. 2 people drowned in the storm. More than 20 people are still unaccounted for.
We know that the search and rescue efforts are not stopping until we know where people are.
The governor says the state is helping with cell phone tracking to find those who are still missing. Crews, many of them from Charlotte, have rescued more than 200 people from the flood. Haywood County officials say over 200 structures throughout the county are simply gone, and it's now a struggle to find housing for people who've lost everything. Governor Cooper says he's contacted FEMA for federal assistance. WCCB News toured along with the governor in Haywood County. Officials say the hardest hit area was the town of Crusoe, about 15 miles outside of Canton. And this is what we've seen all throughout the town of Crusoe today. Cars wrapped up in trees, surrounded by homes just on the side of the road. And this town has about 10 to 15,000 people here in the town of Crusoe, and almost all of them are now looking for a new place to call home.
Governor, were you able to get out and talk to any of the residents along your route?
Yeah, we talked to some people, and we know that a lot of people are in shock because the flooding just absolutely devastates things.
Describe to us how bad this is. Is this as bad as you've seen?
In 32 years of doing this, I will say it's the most devastation that I've ever seen, and unfortunately, the community has sustained it. But here's the thing: we're resilient. We always have been. The people here in Western North Carolina continue to do that.
In Crusoe, Trish Williford, WCCB News.
I am from Montgomery County, but I just happened to drive by, so I saw the fair, and I had to come.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, you're winner.
We have a new grandbaby. It's the first time that she gets to come to the fair, and we wanted to have a really good time.
She likes it.
It's exciting to come to the county fair with your family, you know, have a little time to get some good food, good fun.
And another one.
You see generations come out together. It's a tradition. They come out and enjoy a day together. Sometimes they come back 2 or 3 times with their friends and family and neighbors.
And they're up.
Cabarrus County Fair is always a great tradition to kick off the fall, the early September times, right after Labor Day. We're always excited about it.
They're doing the Biggie 4 stroke here. Up out of the water they come. Coming around to the cookie. The winner is Black. Black is the winner.